Hi, thanks for talking to us today. I appreciate it. I very much enjoyed the series. Can you sort of talk about, I guess, the difficulties in deciding what to pull and what you had to leave out? Because obviously you had to really, really condense it.
Let me throw that to you.
I felt like we had to move the storytelling along at a clip, right? You have to keep the audience leaning forward. And so anything we sort of left out, I think the spirit of whatever we've left out, I hope we've retained that at least. But for the most part, I discovered that what we were really doing was expanding and building on the books and, you know, writing scenes for characters that didn't exist in the books, that Neil didn't have the real estate for in the comics. And so I tend to think of the series as less of a condensation of the material than an expansion, because we get to know so much more about the characters, and we get to explore their inner lives and their backstories in ways that Neil couldn't do when he had 24 pages an episode, an issue. But generally, we knew that this was primarily going to be Dream's story, that especially season 1 was going to be following him and his emotional evolution. And so when you approach something like The Doll's House, in which Dream has a much smaller part in the comics, we had the real estate to say, well, while Rose is on her adventure, what are Dream and Lucien doing at the palace? What's happening to them? What is, once Dream gets home, you know, after having been gone for so long, there's obviously a power dynamic that has shifted. Lucien has been in charge for 125 years, and now he's back. And that's got to be awkward for them to just go back to the way that they suddenly were. And now we're able to tell this very emotional Dream and Lucien story that, to me, sort of brings the whole season full circle with the two of them. And that was an opportunity that doing the TV show gave us that Neil didn't have in the comics.
Anything to add now?
I think what fascinates me is there's nothing in those first 10 episodes that I miss. There isn't anything where I go, I just wish we got to shoot that little bit that we had to leave out. Because we were talking all of the time. I was reading the scripts. I was giving notes. You know, there were at least a couple of times when it was even quicker just to say, what if they had this dialogue, and just shunt that over to Alan than it was to try and get Alan to get somebody else to write it and whatever. So I don't regard it as a thing of, I just wish we had that scene. I wish we shot that scene. It's much more a thing of going, I think we've made the television version. Sometimes we expand, sometimes we condense. A lot of the time when we're condensing because we don't have a narrator. We can't stop the action while I talk to you, which I can do in comics. Yeah. So we'll take, like in 5, the diner story, we take a different path through that story to the one we take in the comic, because we don't have somebody telling you what's going on inside everybody's head.
Right.
And because we don't have that, then we're doing this with drama and we're interaction. We're making it essentially a stage play. And so if we have the stage play version of that, how would you do that?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.